Peter, we talked a lot about cost now, and obviously cost is a very relevant decision criteria when it comes to digital investment. But another criteria which becomes even more important or grows in importance as well is the question of sustainability. How sustainable is my investment? Given the current discussion on global climate change, this is a very important topic for companies to factor in. How do you see the C-suite can strike for the right balance when it comes to digital investment between optimizing cost and also ensuring sustainability?
Well, Alex, I think that sustainability is a hot topic and all organizations need to react to it. But to be honest, it's quite a new area. So many organizations are just now trying to figure it out. What we see in the market is that many technology and cloud providers are developing sustainability metrics based on their automated data collection. And a classic area for them is to look into their power consumption. They're going through their supply chain and also see where they source that energy to especially their data centers. Sustainability metrics together with cost transparency can now give you a balanced decision foundation in order to see where you get the most impact on sustainability as opposed to the lowest cost. Whether sustainability will have a cost impact is yet to be shown, but we'll see in the near future, I'm sure of it.
You mentioned cloud providers in that context, Peter. Can you explain why cloud is an option to achieve a better sustainability?
Going towards net zero emissions is part of almost all organization strategies. What we can see of our cloud providers is that they can provide modern facilities, more computing power per unit of hardware, so to say, and they can also source power in a more efficient way. So overall, we can see that the cloud providers provide a good alternative to obtaining net zero emissions for companies.
So nevertheless, we need to look at the fact that many companies still have historically given own data centers. Now, if they want to move to the cloud to leverage the advantages you talked about before, Peter, what are the factors to consider to make that move successful?
Many of our clients, they experience that moving to the cloud is at best a one-to-one on the cost levels. What is typically missing is two parts. An old acquaintance called governance, so financial governance of their cloud resources. And the other one is active optimization. And what does that mean? It means that you need to constantly resize, snooze, consider reserving instances versus on-demand resources. So Alex, what is in your view needed in order to maintain or lower those cost levels when migrating to the cloud?
Well, first of all, you need to understand what's the total cost of ownership of a service you're migrating today in your existing infrastructure. Only if you have a good knowledge about this is really the unit cost of a service that I currently have, you are able to compare and calculate with the offerings from cloud providers, what is the future operating cost? Yeah? Is it similar? Is it hopefully lower? Or is it maybe even higher? And to understand that, to make this decision, you also need to understand your own consumption volumes and patterns. Because the tariffs the cloud providers typically offer are very transparent and very granular to be influenced, but this granularity also leads to complexity. So they're quite difficult to understand. And the pricing is quite different from your usage behavior. For example, if you want to back up a large amount of data just once a month, it's a totally different usage pattern than if you have very frequent read and write interactions of digital e-commerce platform, for example. So for these two different types, the backup and the e-commerce platform, you need to choose different tariffs for your infrastructure to get an optimal pricing. And to understand this is not very easy for the clients, so it needs the right transparency and the comparison to make the right decision. for the move to the cloud and then also to choose the right tariff model. So apart from the move to the cloud, are there any other option businesses can choose from your experience to strike for a good sustainability while still having cost optimization in mind?
Well, I think that in many companies, COVID was a temporary thing, but they learned a lot about working from home, remote, and digitally. So if you look at a technology organization, it's the hardware part on the power consumption, and the other part is a lot around their people. So reducing travel and commuting was shown to be an effective way also to improve their sustainability.